Well, hello. Today I'd like to welcome you to my review of the Parker Jotter. Now, I ran across this pen while I was wandering around in a Staples one day last summer and saw it hanging on the rack with Parker Jotters and a bunch of Pilot Metropolitans, and they were all around the same price. So, I own a Pilot Metropolitan. I like it. It's usually in my top 10 pens when I do those videos every year. And I felt like, yeah, I need to add a Parker Jotter to my collection. So let's take a look at it. If videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old and at all price points, I would invite you to subscribe. If you'd like to comment on the Parker Jotter or perhaps mention some other entry-level pens, please feel free to leave a comment down below. So let's take a look at the pen. What I like about this is the Parker Jotter is a lower cost pen, and I am familiar with the Parker Jotter models, so check this out. This is my Parker Jotter ballpoint. One of my favorite models of ballpoint. You know, if I'm going to use a ballpoint, it's going to be a Parker Jotter. I like their refills. I do have another Parker Jotter ballpoint. I think this one I have the gel ink in it, but doesn't really matter. And one kind of fun thing that, as far as I could see with the fountain pen, the fountain pen doesn't come in all the fun plastics like the Parker Jotter. But let's take a little bit closer look at this thing. So the Parker Jotter, just like the ballpoints, is a slim pen. Fairly plain. It has the same arrow clip. Of course, it's a Parker. It says Parker here. And then apparently it's made in France. The finials are nothing to write home about. Just plain plastic and metal. When you uncap it, fairly simple nib. Plastic grip section. You can see the injection, not the injection lines. What am I looking? I'm looking for a word for that just slipped out of my brain. Simple plastic feed and this is of course a medium nib. I'm using a cartridge, although at one point over the year I've owned this pen, I did once use the converter. It's a Parker cartridge, so I believe they're proprietary. So I'm going to show you how the pen writes, and then I'll give you some impressions of it. So of course Parker ink comes in a very limited selection of colors. So black, blue, there's a blue, black, and once in a while I've seen red cartridges for sale. This is a steel nib pen, so don't look for any flex at all. But I will say that there's a little bit of line variation to this pen. So, credit where credit's due. I like that. Wetness and flow. Now, I'm writing with this unposted. I'll show you why I bring that up when I pull the camera out. But you can see it has no trouble keeping up. As far as the smear test, of course that's always partly a function of the ink as well as the nib. And then finally reverse writing. And I just misspelled writing, wow. So a little scratchy, but I'd call that an extra fine. So let me pull this camera out for my long form writing sample. And while it's out there, I'll just show it to you in my hand. So nice slim pen, but it definitely fits not quite in the right place. It's a smaller pen. So this, I don't like to post pens, But this is one that's actually sometimes a little more comfortable to write with posted. And when you post it, it doesn't post with like a satisfying click, but it definitely has a happy place where it's posted. And it does snap together with a decent click to it. So let's find a writing sample. Grease. At the beginning of the video, I told you that I purchased this pen while wandering in a Staples. I just saw it hanging with the Pilot Metropolitans. Now just take a quick look at this and picture your Pilot Metropolitans, because I didn't bring one down here. I do own one. It's a lovely orange color. And that's just it. This is available in any color as long as it's silver. Compare that to some other entry-level pens like the Kaweco Perkeo or the Pelikan. Okay, Pelikan Stola is just gray. So, bad example. Pilot Metropolitan, Kaweco Perkeo, a lot of the Chinese pens that are coming out right now, available in a multitude of colors. This is more classic and restrained. I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. I will say their ballpoint does come in a number of different colors. It'd be kind of fun if their fountain pen could too, but prices being... Even the Jotter comes in several different colors. But that being said, I'm really happy that a major manufacturer is making the effort to sell pens at the lower cost end. Entry-level market, there's what I was looking for. I'm really thrilled that a major company is offering pens for the entry-level market, because this is how you get new people using fountain pens. If I did a video on an Akaya, for example, you'd be like, wow, that's a really nice pen. And then you'd look at the price and say, no, not for me. I have to get you addicted first. This is your entry, your gateway to fountain pens. Anybody can afford this. You buy it, you don't like it, well, you set it aside and you don't use it. You probably will get addicted. I tried getting my brother and his wife addicted. It didn't work. Got my father re-addicted, though, but haven't gotten him up to the price point I'm at yet. But anyway, it's a way to get people to buy your pens. And so when you have younger people buying the pens, then they will try out something more expensive. And this is a good one. It looks like this would look perfectly in place at a business meeting at any level. It's a very classy looking pen. And I think that's the big thing. The Pilot Metropolitan is a very classic shape. And yet the pop editions like what I have skew to a younger person. But the nice thing too with the Metropolitan, and as far as I can see with this, these are quality pens that write well and give you a good feeling for going up market. And I don't expect most people to go as nuts as I am with the fountain pens. Most people buy a couple. I mean, that was me for 20 years. I had my Parker Vector. I had a Cross, Century, I think. And what was the other one? Parker Frontier. That was me. Those and Parker Quink Black, this ink, for 20 years. I was happy with that. And, that's what this kind of pen should be doing, is getting people comfortable with fountain pens, because you never know when that bug will strike. So I am happy to see this in there. Whether they appeal or catch the eye the way some other entry-level pens do, that's a business decision. I'll say overall, Parker leans toward more conservative designs. They don't introduce new models very often, so they don't build that excitement the way, when Lamy comes out with its color of the year. Even though it's the same Safari year after year, people get excited about that. And Parker really doesn't go for that. But, on the other hand, it could be argued that it's a bit of a gimmick. So, I don't know. The gimmick doesn't work on me. I've never bought another Safari after my first one. Still have it. Like it, but yeah. Side story. Actually, I was looking at a Parker Duofold. I bought that one a few weeks ago in Fargo, and I was thinking to myself, and that, by the way, the Duofold is what inspired me to get this out and do this review. But I was just curious at what are the other designs like on the Parker Duofold. And I found a pretty one, great expectations. Then I saw the price and like, nope. But anyway, this is a good entry-level pen. It competes well with the Pilot Metropolitan. I don't know how they compare as far as which one would last better or whatever, but they're both very good pens. So, yeah, if you're looking for an entry-level pen, can't go wrong with a Parker Jotter. So if videos like this interest you, where I talk about fountain pens both new and old, I would invite you to subscribe. If you'd like to talk about the Parker Jotter, or perhaps some other entry-level fountain pens you'd like to recommend, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And as always, I thank you for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.